Hello and welcome to News Now. The axe has finally come down on Nigeria's anti-corruption czar, Ibrahim Lamurde. President Muhammadu Buhari today removed him as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Ibrahim Mago has been announced as the new acting chairman of the commission. Lamurde took over as the chairman of EFCC in November 2011 after former President Goodluck Jonathan dismissed Farida Waziri. He recently came under serious investigation over allegations of diversion of over 1 trillion naira from the sale of confiscated properties belonging to convicted public officials. Mago, who is his replacement, was a former chairman of the EFCC's Economic Governance Unit, a role he served during the tenure of Nuhu Ribadu. He was dismissed by former EFCC chairman Farida Waziri in 2008. Now, troops of Nigeria's 25 Task Force Brigade have conducted a clearance and confidence-building operations in Barle along Bita and Damboa axis of Borno State in northeast Nigeria. A statement by Colonel Tukar Gusso, media coordinator Operation Lafia Dole, said the Boko Haram terrorists, on sighting the advancing troops towards their location, fled in disarray, abandoning looted food items and other personal effects. This includes a grinding machine, Dane guns and bicycles, as well as Boko Haram terrorists' hoisted flag, which was brought down and destroyed by the troops. He said the formation continues to dominate the area in order to deny the terrorists freedom to carry out any attack. Now, one of the 100 suspected Boko Haram terrorists declared wanted by the Nigerian Army has been captured as he attempted to flee. Acting Director of Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, confirmed this in a statement he released over the weekend. He said the man has been identified as Chindo Bello. He was apprehended by aviation security at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, as he was boarding a local flight to Lagos. The suspect has since been handed over to the military intelligence for interrogation and prosecution. 2 female suicide bombers suspected to be members of Boko Haram blew themselves up on Monday near a mosque in Cameroon's far north province, military officials have said. It was not immediately clear if the explosions caused other fatalities, as the area has been cordoned off. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but all fingers point to Boko Haram. The militant group has led a 6-year campaign for an Islamic State in northeastern Nigeria. Now, neighboring countries, including Cameroon, joined forces against the group last year, driving its offensive beyond Nigeria. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has officially sworn in the new chairman of the country's Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. The swearing-in ceremony took place on Monday at the presidential villa in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Also sworn in were 5 other INEC commissioners who were successfully screened by the Nigerian Senate. Now, speaking during the event, President Buhari pledged to respect the independence of the electoral body, promising that he would not interfere with its function, and also pledged to tackle electoral fraud with more vigor. The new chairman of INEC, Professor Yakubu, said the commission would continue to work for free and fair elections in the country.
Another area of concern is the justice administration of the electoral tribunals. It is long overdue that our justice system addresses these shortcomings. It is not just enough for an election to be cancelled and a new one ordered. It would be much better if all those actions or inactions led to the cancellation of such elections to be investigated, and if culpable, prosecuted, whether they are individuals as candidates or party agents, institutions such as political party, electoral body, or public officers as electoral staff or security agents.
On behalf of myself and members of the Commission, Mr. President, we pledge our commitment to the discharge of our responsibilities without fear or favor. Free, fair, and credible election is at the heart of our nation's progress and stability. We shall not fail the nation.
President Muhammadu Buhari will officially inaugurate a new Federal Executive Council on Wednesday, November the 11th. The presidential spokesperson has said This follows the successful screening of ministerial nominees by Nigeria's Senate. A statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said before the commencement of the inaugural session of the Council, the ministers designate would take their oaths of office in the Council chambers of the Presidential Villa. The Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has inaugurated the 96 chairpersons and vice chairpersons of the special and standing committees of the House over 4 months after the 8th House was inaugurated. However, the inauguration was not without any drama, as the majority leader, Femi Gbajabiamila, who had accused Dogara of undermining the offices of the principal officers in the process of constituting the committees, led his loyalists in the ruling All Progressives Congress out of the House. The party had complained that the nature of the composition of the committees favored the opposition People's Democratic Party rather than the APC. Of the 96 committees, 48 members of the All Progressives Congress were appointed chairpersons, while 46 members of the opposition People's Democratic Party were also heading committees of the House. One member each from the Social Democratic Party and All Progressives Grand Alliance secured committee leadership positions. Now, for the deputy chairpersons positions, the APC got 54, while the PDP got 38. After the inauguration, the Speaker Dogara defended the number of the committees, which had been criticized as oversized. Now, rather than attend the inauguration ceremony, 25 of the APC lawmakers went to the APC National Secretariat, where they tabled their complaints before the party leadership, accusing the Speaker of working against his own party in the committee appointments.
We came to brief the party about ongoing happenings in the House, that Yakubu Dogara, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, is showing that he's in APC by face, but in heart is PDP. And clearly, many things have happened before now. But what has translated openly is this constitution of the committees. Like you are all living witnesses, many of you have been corresponding with the National Assembly before now, or the political parties before now. You have never seen where minority parties got even up to 25% of voting committee positions shared among the House. But today we are in a position whereby APC has 50%, the opposition has 50%. And this is totally unacceptable to us. And that's what we come to inform the party. We are still loyal to the party, and we are following on the party to follow democratic means to make sure that the people will reverse same for the benefit of the party and for the benefit of Nigerians. We should not forget, Nigerians have voted PDP out of this country because of their tyranny and their misrule, and now the same PDP members that are minority in the House are guiding and teleguiding and misguiding the House. So we cannot accept that, and the party clearly understood our position. They are with us, and we are working together to make sure that Nigerians are not afraid. As you can see, the inauguration of the committee today is something of concern because it has never been done before. This is an issue that was since 1999, in fact, since the establishment of democracy in Nigeria in 1959 till date. There has never been a time when committees were inaugurated at the same time as if you are inaugurating the House itself. Each committee has mandate and has the responsibility of inaugurating itself by inviting the Speaker or the Speaker or the House leader in most cases to come and witness their inauguration. But because they know they have done something sinister, that's why they decided to make it elaborate and legitimize what they have done and to draw public sympathy or to propagate. It's a sort of propaganda that this is what they are doing. They are doing only to cover up the misdeed in the formation of the committee chairmanship and chairmanship. But we are asking him to reverse the committee by he should dissolve the constitution of the committee chairmanship and the chairmanship and reconstruct it accordingly, whereby the APC will have its due share appropriately.
Now, the trial of the former Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Godsdale Rubebe, at the Code of Conduct Tribunal has been adjourned till November 26th as the prosecution counsel failed to present a witness at the first hearing on Monday. Rubebe is facing a 4-count charge of false asset declaration and bribery during his time as minister. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges. At the trial on Monday, counsel to the prosecution Ibrahim Usman told the court that he would like to request an adjournment since his witnesses were not in court. He asked for a 2-week break to enable him commence with his case. Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Danladi Umar, while expressing his disappointment at the failure of the prosecution to present its witnesses immediately after the arraignment, dismissed the request of the defense counsel to release his client on bail. He then adjourned till November 26 with a warning to the prosecution to ready their witnesses before the next hearing date.
Today we were ready to proceed, and that they are not ready to proceed after the heavy weather made out of this case about 10 days ago. One could feel free, feel easy to say that probably the allegations are not real.
I'm somebody that loves this country. I have worked for this country. I also remember 2008, 2009, when the economy of this country was going down because of the Niger Delta crisis. I was the only minister who went around the camps of the former militant leaders that led to amnesty. I have worked for this country. And I believe that it is wrong for people to have a perception that anybody that has worked for this government at any time in this country is a criminal.
Operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, have continued to lay siege to the Abuja residence of former National Security Advisor Colonel Sambo Dasuki. The former NSA says he would be in court today to enforce his fundamental rights. Dasuki's house in Abuja has been under siege, with DSS operatives restricting the movement of the retired military colonel and that of other people coming into the residence. The operatives are insisting on delivering personally a letter of invitation for him to appear before a committee set up by the government to probe arms purchase while he was Nigeria's security advisor. The Nigerian police has dismissed reports suggesting that it had placed a ban on devotional assembly in schools and other public places. The police said rumors of the ban were untrue, as it only issued advisory notice to states currently affected by the Boko Haram insurgency, enjoining them to apply caution in the said assembly so that such congregations do not present soft targets for insurgents. It added that the police force did not stop anybody from taking part in prayer sessions organized by schools, churches and mosques, describing the congregation as the constitutional and democratic rights of Nigerians. Still on the Nigerian police, it says modalities are in place towards the establishment of a complaints response unit that will address citizens' concerns and queries in real time, especially those relating to police conduct. These, it says, is with a view to ensuring that policing system in the country is in keeping with the present-day realities. The officer in charge of the complaint response unit, Abayomi Shogunle, disclosed this at a media interaction in Abuja, adding that the police plans to make the most of the social media.
CRU is simply a platform where members of the public and citizens can report any conduct of which they feel is unprofessional. Any unprofessional conduct of any police officer. You know, a platform where members of the public can make a report of a conduct with the police which they are not satisfied about, and assurances is given that such complaints would receive adequate action of authorities of the Nigerian police force.
We'll take a short break here, and the news now will be right back.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like there, I'm going girl. You know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few. I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we tell you. We did the way you did.
Hello, you welcome. You watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. The Central Bank of Nigeria has imposed a fine of 4 billion naira on Sky Bank for failing to render appropriate returns and accounts of some government institutions and agencies. This is contained in a statement by Sky Bank to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. In a circular from CBN addressed to the chairman, board of directors of Sky Bank, the Apex Bank slapped Sky Bank with the fine, which it said represents 10% of the concealed funds belonging to federal government MDAs. The circular said the amount would be debited from Sky Bank's current account with the central bank. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari had given a directive that all MDAs deposit their remittances into a single account with the Central Bank of Nigeria by September 15th or be sanctioned. Now, the impasse over the $5.2 billion fine imposed on mobile telecoms giant MTN by Nigeria Telecoms regulator, the Nigeria Communications Commission, may have taken its first casualty. The CEO of MTN, Sifiso Dabengwa, has announced his resignation from the company. Dabengwa quit from office following the fine imposed by MTN by the NCC for failing to disconnect unregistered subscribers from its network. His resignation actually came as a deadline to pay the penalty draws closer. MTN was given until November 16 to pay the penalty, which relates to the timing of the disconnection of 5.1 million subscribers and is based on a charge of 200,000 naira. That's about $1,005 for each unregistered customer. MTN said in Nkleko, the current non-executive chairperson, has agreed to act as executive chairperson for a maximum period of 6 months while the company identifies a successor for Dabengwa. Johannesburg-based MTN is in talks with Nigerian authorities about the fine imposed on its unit in Nigeria for failing to cut off more than 5 million users with unregistered SIM cards. Oil futures rose above $40.50 a barrel on Monday as OPEC said it expected global demand to remain strong next year. Brent crude for December delivery was up 22 cents at $47.64 a barrel after falling more than 4% last week. December U.S. crude gained 12 cents to $44.41 a barrel after falling nearly 5% last week. Abdullah Al-Badri, Secretary General of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, that's OPEC now, says he expects the oil market will become more balanced in 2016 as demand continues to grow. OPEC will meet on December 4th to discuss the cartel strategy after opting to maintain its output steady in the face of lower prices and rising U.S. shale production in its last meeting actually. Myanmar's opposition National League for Democracy says it is confident of victory in the first openly contested national election in 25 years. Initial results from the national parliamentary vote Sunday, that's the first to be contested by the party of veteran democracy campaigner Aung San Suu Kyi in a quarter century, started to trickle in on Monday. And NLD spokesperson said it is expected to win about 70% of the seats. Now, official results have been released for just 12 seats, all won by the NLD. The military-backed Union Solidarity Development Party, that's USDP, has been in power since 2011. Let's turn to sports now. The Golden Eaglets of Nigeria have won their 5th FIFA Under-17 World Cup title after defeating West African neighbors Mali 2-0 in the final on Sunday. The Eaglets, who are also the defending champions, secured victory through second-half goals by Victor Osimhen and Funsho Bangboye. Osimhen's goal, which was his 10th in the tournament, made him the first player in the history of the competition to score in every game of the championship and also the scorer of the most goals in a single tournament. He also received the award for the second-best player in the tournament, while Captain Kelechi Nwakali picked up the Golden Ball award as the tournament's best player. The Eaglets' success was the first by Nigeria outside the Asian continent, as all previous 4 wins had been achieved in China, Japan, Korea, Republic, and of course the United Arab Emirates.
I think it's a very remarkable achievement for the boys, for their coaches, and I think we also need to commend everybody that got involved with the team in one way or the other in helping them retain the trophy they won 2 years ago. I mean, the National Sports Commission, the Nigerian Football Federation, and everybody that got involved in one way or the other in helping these boys actualize their dreams. And it's a very good victory for these boys, not just because they are champions again, because we've been champions 5 times now, but with the way they played and with the way they applied the tactics of their coach and, I mean, expressed themselves on the pitch. It was amazing. It was top quality. And I think it's a manifestation of the fact that there's a lot of quality here in Nigeria. If we can just be patient, if we can just give support to the team and encourage the coaches. This is the same team that finished in 4th place at the African tournament, now going to the world stage, taking everybody out, beating the African champions in such a convincing manner. I think it's really commendable, and I think we should congratulate Manuel Amunike, the Nigerian Football Federation, the National Sports Commission, the federal government of Nigeria for this achievement. It is truly, truly heartwarming.
For me, since when I see the team right from day one, I was very confident and then that they are going to make another history, and which is the dream come true yesterday. So I was so happy for them. In my own set, that is much more different than this, but what I can say is the football total is we have the same strength, we use the same strength, although maybe against Brazil, most of the team, they want to knock, they want to do this, but Nigerians, we don't have time for that. Maybe if they get ball, we chase you, want to get the ball, 2-3 touches when you go, want to score, want to do all this. So that is what gives us more strength, and the kind of training we receive give us more quality and more power to push. So I can say the team is like similar, the same. It's like the same team, but different players.
While NFF President Amaju Pinnick has hailed the impact of President Muhammadu Buhari on the success of the Golden Eaglets at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Chile, the Eaglets on Sunday defeated West African neighbors Mali 2-0 to claim a record FIFA triumph at the Under-17 World Cup. Now, Pinnick praised President Buhari for speaking passionately via Skype to the squad ahead of what was only the 2nd ever All-African final, adding that the team has achieved beyond expectations. The Golden Eaglets will return to Nigeria via Abuja aboard an Emirates airline on Wednesday. Well, we just can't wait to receive these golden boys. They've actually made Nigeria proud. Now, World Anti-Doping Agency WADA has recommended that the International Association of Athletics Federation IAAF suspend the All-Russian Athletics Federation from competing in Rio 2016. The recommendation was contained in a report following investigations by WADA that the Russian Federation helped athletes cover up doping offenses. WADA officials said the report identified intentional and malicious destruction of more than 1,400 samples by Moscow laboratory officials, recommending that the federation be suspended from next year's Olympics. It also suggested that 5 athletes and 5 coaches be given lifetime doping bans. Meanwhile, the International Olympic Committee has recommended that former IAAF President Lamine Diack be provisionally suspended as an honorary member. And Diack, of course, is currently being investigated by French authorities for also allegedly helping to cover up doping offenses. The 82-year-old, who stepped down from his position as president of athletics governing body in August, is also facing investigations for corruption and money laundering. Well, that's it in news now. We thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.